Today I'm going to create my own design paper and make 5 different cards out of one A4 sheet of cardstock. So stick with me and I'll get right to it. Hi, it's Therese and Lost in Paper, and it's time to give me 5 with Penny Black. And I've got a stamp set here called Banner Blooms, and this is kind of a sketchy floral set, and I thought it'd be really fun to create my own design paper using all these stamps, and just stamp them all over a piece of A4 cardstock. I want to emboss it, and I'm going to be using some rose gold embossing powder. So when I'm doing a big sheet of stamping like this, and I'm going to be using embossing paper, I like to do it in sections because I always sit the stamps down against the wet ink, end up with smudges, and the only thing that annoys me about doing it this way is you get a little bit of warping on the cardstock in between the heat embossing, and I think it's worth putting up with it rather than ending up with areas of the design paper that I'm creating being smudged. So I've tried to keep my images close together. I've rotated the images, I've stamped them off the edge and heat embossed, and it's really hard to tell here, I think. Well, it is as I'm editing, but it's a lovely shiny rose gold, and on the rouge coloured cardstock it looks really pretty. And I wanted to add some simple colour, so I've got some Prismacolor pencils, and I'm going to list a full list of suppliers will be at my blog, and you can see exactly what colours I've chosen. You can use any colours that you have. It's just a good idea to test them on a piece of scrap cardstock, because when you're colouring with pencils on coloured cardstock they do look slightly different. And I just coloured in between the embossed lines. So I'm going to start my first card now, and I've cut. Now this is a Stitches of Love, and it's a nesting die set, and I wanted it to look like the impression or the embossed or the die cut pattern is in a border. So I just cut out 2 of them, and I cut the border out the same size as the card and just stuck them together with some score tape and popped some fun foam on the back of that, because that's going to create a raised border around my card. My image today is from a really cute set which is called Hedgy Love, and I'm just doing some simple Prismacolor pencil colouring using similar colours that I used on my design paper, and didn't bother doing any blending or anything. I just kept it really clean and simple, easy and simple. I wasn't actually going to even colour the hedgehog initially, but I changed my mind. I thought he needed some brown, so I came in and did that. And then I used the coordinating dies to die cut this cute little image out. So the sentiment today comes from a set that has a really similar style of images. It's called Special Friends. It's got some really cute little critters in it, but it has this great banner sentiment, and I chose to stamp out the happy birthday and cut that out and popped it up with some foam squares and also added my image. So I used the design paper here. I cut a panel of that and used it in the background of this card design. My second card today, I've got a really pretty bird that's also, I think this style of image suits the design paper that I created. It's from a set called Peaceful Time, and I just kept this image stamped in black and white, cut it out with the coordinating dies, added a piece of the design paper to the left hand side of the card, stamped a sentiment. This is from the snippets set. I've used it before. I did come in and add some gold it's embroidery floss, added a couple of strands of that and popped up my bird. And I did actually stamp my sentiment on a separate piece of white cardstock because I wanted this to look like one sheet of cardstock. I could have just left it and stamped directly on the card front, but I thought it looked better then with everything at one level. Does that make sense? I'm using this design paper again as a background. I have stamped this banner. It's a really funky large banner, and one of the rabbits from the Special Friends set, and I've stamped them both out, added a snippets sentiment and just a little bit of shadowing with some pencils. So basically I'm going for the design paper with some black and white and a little pop of colour as well. These cards actually came together very quickly, and I think they'd make a really nice set of gift cards if you wrap them up with a beautiful salmon coloured bow. I think they'd be really pretty, especially with the gold. I like that rose gold embossing powder. It looks lovely. This is the tea time stamp. It's a really cute hedgehog in a teacup, and I kept the teacup itself. I didn't actually do any shading on that at all. I only coloured the hedgehog. I wanted to get away from using the design paper as a background, so just to use it a little bit differently, what I did was use the tagged die set and cut myself a tag, also a sentiment from the snippets stamp set, and pop them up off to make it look like they're coming off the handle of the teacup, and added a black bow. And this is from the Red Roses die set, which has also just recently been released. It's a really fine, beautiful bow, and I thought this would make a really nice gift tag, so that's why I kept it a bit smaller. It's only 4.25 square, and this one's probably my favourite. I grabbed some of the stamps and stamped out like just some black images in the background, die cut with the coordinating dies 3 of the flowers and popped them up on the front of the card. And the sentiment is from a set called Only You, and I stamped that directly on the card front as well, and then popped up a portion of the sentiment. So thanks for watching today. Remember, there are lots of ways you can connect with Penny Black. They've got a Facebook page, they're on Instagram, head to their blog, they've also got a website, and I'll link all of those below in the description box, as well as all the links to the products that I've used today. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Gimme 5, same but different cards with Penny Black, and I look forward to seeing you here again real soon. Bye.